Let me begin with a question. What if the U.S. shared all the wealth that we create in this country? Well, this very question inside of the Cold War, a war between the U.S. and Soviet Union, which for the U.S. was a war on communism. Well, then is the structure of capitalism that much better than communism, which in theory has the goal of sharing wealth among a nation's people? Well, there's not a correct answer, but what I can tell you is that American capitalism is ingrained into almost every aspect of American society. America was built upon capitalism, specifically human capital, and it extends now to the education and healthcare systems. As many of you are listening are students or have a life that I hope you value, what I'm going to share in this presentation is very relevant and applicable to you all in some way, shape, or form. Beginning with America's roots, the very first British colony was founded in 1607 by the name of Jamestown, which is in Virginia, making America over 400 years old now. The first colony had some indentured servants and men of African descent laboring, literally building the foundation of this country. As more Americans colonies were founded and were expanding, the demand for slaves increased greatly. By the year 1800, there were over 700,000 slaves in America, making 1 in every 6 people a slave. The very roots of American capitalism were built upon the backs of enslaved peoples. There was also a slave patrol founded in 1704 that policed the very lives of the enslaved peoples and evolved into what we now know as the police department. The police department takes their design directly from the slave patrol badge, which was a star with the word slave patrol imprinted on the front. And I could go on about the early years of America, but what does capitalism look like today? Next, I'd like to talk about the education system, student loan debt. We hear the term relatively often, especially those who are around academic circles. Many of us have taken out loans which we'll eventually have to pay back. On March 20th of 2021, the Biden administration passed a bill canceling a total of $1 billion in student loan debt for 72,000 people, which seems significant. But the total number of student loan debt is $1.7 trillion with over 45 million borrowers. That means the amount that was canceled is less than 1%, 0.06% to be exact. There's also insufficient government funding for education. Over half of the government's discretionary spending in 2015 went towards military and defense, while a measly 6.5% went towards education. And this gigantic disproportion can be traced back to capitalism because the U.S. keeps their political and financial influence strong through their military and defense. Now, this leads me to my final point, the healthcare system. Capitalism lies in the U.S. healthcare system as well. The U.S. has both private insurance companies and public. For private insurance, you pay a premium to the company, and you are insured with hospitals and medical clinics that are contracted with your provider. Examples are Kaiser Permanente and Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. And there are also public insurance companies, public insurance, which is publicly funded, government funded, such as Medi-Cal and Medicaid, which I have Medi-Cal. And the problem with that is that public insurance is often insufficient. And I've been searching for a therapist for some months now, and I found that many companies do not treat Medi-Cal, Anthem Blue Cross the same as regular Medi-Cal, and I've been struggling to find a therapist that accepts me. And the difference between private and the difference between private insurance and public insurance is unruly. And capitalism has been present since the day, in conclusion, capitalism has been present since the founding of this country and persists today through the U.S. education and healthcare systems. Whether it affects you because you are a student or You're a living person, breathing person, residing in the U.S. You are affected by capitalism, and we must be aware of the effect it has on us and on the world, so we don't become victims or slaves to a system that is very, very dangerous and lethal, possibly. Thank you.